आ गया, करंतियों सर आ गए, राम भी आ गए, अदिति आ गई।
All right. On behalf of SIIC IIT Kanpur, I welcome you all to our annual showcase event, Abhivyakti. In this 3-day event, we are proud to bring you to our band of thinkers, change makers, and problem solvers who gives the team a reason to wake up every day and be as entrepreneur in our spirits as they are. I would like to invite Dr. Nikhil Agarwal, who is the CEO of our Incubation Center, Startup Innovation and Incubation Center, to say a few words and then welcome Professor Karandikar on stage.
Thanks a lot, Aditi. It's the audience. Give us a couple of minutes. I think there is some issue joining for Minister Satish Mahanaji and Dr. Ajay Kumar, Defense Secretary. They should be coming in online. So please bear with us. These are the fruits of technology. Apologies. But meanwhile, I will start, and meanwhile we will request. We will have a discussion with Professor Karandikar since he is there, and the other speaker will also join. So Aditi, let us wait for a couple of minutes. Let the other speakers
Sure.
also join. Yeah.
Sure. Okay, while we are waiting for the other speakers, I would like to inform the audience that over the next 3 days, you would get to witness exciting tech talks. We have got interesting panel discussions with having business leaders, industrial experts on stage, and we've got interesting booths be created by our startups who are incubated at SIIC IIT Kanpur. Do feel free to visit all the booths, interact with them. They're gonna be there throughout the entire 3 days. So you can interact with them over a video call, over chat message, etc. So take time to visit the booth area as well. And yeah, I hope all of you have a great time in next 3 days, where the whole team has taken a lot of time to identify these speakers and create, and we have taken personal pain to create each session so that we can bring out and deliver important messages to all the innovators and startups who they are trying to make their mark. So yeah, I hope all of you have a good time.
Good morning, sir. Namaskar.
Namaskar.
Good morning.
Good morning, Abhay. How are you?
I'm good.
So let me start. Pandemic has taken a toll on everyone, also on us, because pandemic has kept it busy on innovative ideas more than before. So I'm glad to introduce to you Abhivyakti, which is not just an event but a celebration of a spirit of innovation and entrepreneurship. Abhivyakti is a respect for all our stakeholders, our tremendously innovative firms, our versatile staff, our super innovative alumni, our friends in the government and private sector, and to all the people who have believed in IITs. In next 3 days' time, you will witness a power-packed event with 100 plus speakers from ministers, secretaries, CEOs, thought leaders, and world's foremost innovative brains. I can guarantee if you attend all these 3 days, you will feel that you have done a PhD in innovation. Welcome again. With this, let me invite Professor Karandikar to formally welcome on behalf of IIT and say a few words.
Thank you. Thank you, Nikhil. So first of all, on behalf of IIT Kanpur, let me extend my warm welcome to Honorable Minister of Uttar Pradesh, Mr. Satish Mahanaji, then Union Defense Secretary, Dr. Ajay Kumar, the team of SIIC, and all the participants, including our a large portfolio of ever-growing, large portfolio of incubating companies. It is, as Nikhil mentioned, that the 3-day event is indeed going to be a power-packed event with a lot of exciting talks, panel discussions, and exhibition booths that have been set up by our incubating. I just want to briefly mention that IIT Kanpur in the last couple of years has strengthened its incubation program in a very, very significant way. We have consolidated all our incubation activities under a new Section 8 company called First, and thanks to the dynamic leadership of Dr. Nikhil Agrawal, who joined in as the Chief Executive Officer of this Section 8 company under the guidance of Professor Amitabh Bandyopadhyay. We have actually made a very rich portfolio of our enterprises in various sectors, which are like either the healthcare sectors or the biotech or the social enterprises, water and sanitations, environment, and defense and aviations. We have actually a portfolio of companies in all of these, and as on today, I'm really very proud to share that we have 70 plus incubating companies in IIT Kanpur with a total valuation of more than 1,000 crores. And many of these companies have been successfully funded by the angel investors, the venture capitalists, and also have entered it into the strategic with the industry. So here you see on the campus of IIT Kanpur all the seeds of a self-reliant India in very state-of-the-art high-tech technology, making a difference. The other unique thing about IIT Kanpur startups, I would like to mention that many of the companies may not be focusing on becoming a unicorn or $1 billion company, but are actually making a significant difference to the local economy by contributing to a very untapped sector of the local economy, be it like the agriculture, like for example, as a part of our agri-tech company, or be it solving the sanitation and the water problems of a city, or be it addressing some of the problems which actually confronts a city life, or a city even a city administration. So I'm really very proud that many startups are actually focusing on making a difference to the local economy, and not and I'm sure they will be contributing to the overall economic growth of the country as well. At IIT Kanpur, actually, we have created many state-of-the-art facilities. For example, we have an excellent facility in the area of biotech incubator, which actually many of our companies are leveraging on. Then we have created in the area of agri-tech sectors many facilities, which again, our companies are leveraging. And also in areas such as cybersecurity or flexible electronics, or in aviations and aerospace and material science or chemical engineering and so on. So I'm sure you will get a glimpse of some of these startups today. Again, I would like to tell my young entrepreneurs that they are also likely to interact with experienced corporate leaders in this 3-day events. And I'm sure that they will get benefited through these interactions. So thank you very much again, Team SIIC, for organizing this event. And I would like to wish you all the best for the success of this event. And once again, I would like to welcome Satish Mahanaji and Dr. Ajay Kumar to this event. Both of them have been like good friends of IIT Kanpur. Dr. Ajay Kumar is actually also an our alumnus. So thank you again, sir.
First of all, my apologies. The technical glitch, came in the way. I was supposed to speak before Professor Karandikar, but technology had it the other way around. Uh, Once again, a very good morning to all of you, and this is my privilege to welcome our alumnus and the Honorable Defense Secretary, Dr. Ajay Kumar, and the Minister of the Government of Uttar Pradesh, Sri Satish Mahanaji. I will not at all take much time, and of course, our director, Professor Abhay Karandikar, and our CEO, Dr. Nikhil Agarwal, and everybody who is watching us online, and the incubated companies of IIT Kanpur, and my colleagues in the incubator. Uh, it's a very proud day indeed for our incubator. We have come a long way in last 20 years. We have many successes under our belt, and things have accelerated tremendously in last few years, and I am very proud to be a part of this ecosystem. As Professor Kandikar already mentioned, the motto of our incubator is to make uh, impactful changes in the lives of everyday Indians. I would just like to inform all, and particularly our distinguished guests who may not be familiar with the ecosystem, that we have now taken an approach for end-to-end value system integration, wherein on one hand, we are working with top of the line drone companies and computer vision companies and the AI ML companies, etc. And then on the other extreme, we are working with the tribals of Chhattisgarh, the Khadi and Gramodyog, uh, students from government engineering colleges of UP. We are trying to, whichever product segment they are in, whichever technology they are in, we are trying to extend the infrastructure and expertise of IIT Kanpur and the incubator ecosystem to value add and bring them up on the value chain. And this is working really well for the incubator because we are discovering innovation talents that we believe has remained untapped for quite some time. And we are also expanding, as you may have noticed in our agenda, that we are trying to integrate with the international community. In this particular event, uh, innovation leaders from 6 countries are participating, and we have made very good friendship with some of the embassies who are now our brand ambassadors in their respective countries. So 20 years, SIIC is poised to take off to the next height, and we would need blessings and good wishes from all of you, particularly our distinguished guests, Dr. Ajay Kumarji and Sri Satish Mahanaji. Without any further delay, I would request our honorable guest, Dr. Ajay, to please take the podium and deliver his speech to encourage our young entrepreneurs and everybody else. Uh-huh. Hmm. Sure.
So am I audible?
Yes, yes, sir.
So good morning, everyone. Dr. Professor Abhay Karandikar, Professor Amitabh Bandopadhyay, Dr. Nikhil Agarwal, dear friends, she's Satish Mahanaji. I'm not sure if he's online, but in case he is, first of all, it's always a pleasure to associate with anything to do with IIT Kanpur, and you all know the reason why. But I'm really delighted to know how wonderfully the startup incubator in IIT Kanpur is today working. And it is really no mean achievement that 70 startup companies today with market cap of over 1,000 crores are today in the incubator system of SIIC. So my hearty congratulations to all of you for the wonderful work, and I would wish you the very best. This is the way forward, and I think we would, the real power of this country in innovation really lies in the startups. We have in the last few years started to discover it, and I will share with you how we are discovering this in defense, and we really think that this is a game changer as far as India is concerned across. Today, ever since the Startup India initiative was taken up, there is tremendous amount of momentum in this ecosystem. We have in the country today 50,000 startups in different fields. We have today several cities in India today which count among the top 100 innovation cities of the world based on their ranking in the startup ecosystem. We have today 31 unicorns in India, and we hope that in the coming few years this number will double or triple very shortly. But our real strength, if we were to see, is in the tech startups, and that is where startup incubators in places like IIT Kanpur really have such a wonderful role to play. I remember I was associated closely with IIT Kanpur in setting up the National Center for Flexible Electronics, and some of the work in one of the things this center was doing was working with startups in this area of flexible electronics. And in the first couple of years itself, I found some wonderful products which had started coming out from that system. A huge deviation from previous research centers which IITs used to have in the past, where large number of research would be confined to labs and would not have so much of business applicability. In National Center of Flexible Electronics, I found products which had immediate commercial viability. Smart inks was being produced, ways by which you could actually find out the content of adulteration in milk was discovered, and so on and so forth. Problems which really had commercial as well as day-to-day applications. Today I think it goes without saying India is today recognized as the third largest startup ecosystem in the world, and world really recognizes the power of startups that we have. But when it comes to defense, as Dr. Nikhil Agarwal mentioned, we have been a little late starter in terms of how to work with the startups. Only 1.5 years back or so, under the IDEX platform, we started working with startups. The program was launched by our Honorable Prime Minister in Chennai in April 2018. And for the first time, we said we will try to work with startups. Before that, we could count the number of startups who on their own initiative were working in the defense space would be literally on our fingers. Now, when I talk of defense, I must say upfront that defense is an area where it is at the frontier edge of technology invariably, no matter what segment of technology that we do. And that is because people use the most advanced technologies to beat their enemies. We can't expect to be second best in this game. So therefore, it is a little challenging field in terms of having to work at frontier edge of technology. If you look at how our defense production ecosystem had been working in the past, we had primarily been dependent on imported technology. Most of the production that you see, whether it is in defense PSUs or whether it was in OFB, 90% of the production was based on transfer of technologies from foreign countries. And we realized that this was really not creating the self-reliance that we aimed. Under Atmanirbhar Bharat, if we are talking of being truly self-reliant, the real self-reliance can come only if we were to develop our own technologies. While production is important, it does not liberate us from the dependence on foreign countries. And if our technology is from foreign country, when the critical need of will come, when there is a war, that country will hold a tremendous amount of sway on us by denying us technology, and we will not be able to use that particular equipment for war. Therefore, self-reliance in technology becomes an absolute must. And it is in this regard that we are today focusing on technology. And we are focusing, one of the vehicles of this, being able to create our own technologies is startups. The second important point which I would like to mention, which technology curve world over. A lot of technologies were first discovered or invented for defense and then came into the commercial field. That is interestingly changing now. Today, we find that a lot of things which have actually come out, if you look at artificial intelligence, facial recognition software, which we use in defense, is actually been, the advancement that has happened in the commercial world has been far greater, and later on, the facial recognition technologies have started coming. Same technologies are now being used for defense. So today, the technology is also developing equally or faster in the commercial space as along within defense. And this technology, the determination of technology is increasingly becoming dependent on software, AI. Today we are increasingly seeing unmanned platforms, use of network-centric warfare, all of which needs advanced technology, IoT, blockchains, and the rest of it, which are all capabilities on which India as a country has tremendous amount of strengths. So while on the defense platforms, previously a lot of defense technologies related were around the area of engines. How could you create more powerful engines? How could you create more unique materials? These were areas which determined how advanced one was in the defense area. Today, now things have changed. The capabilities are defined by smartness, unmanned things, new technologies, and therefore, we have as a country, with our strengths in software, in digital technologies, and the large manpower we have from engineering colleges, this new change in the technological ecosystem has provided us a golden opportunity to be able to leapfrog and provide for defense, to contribute to the defense innovation competition race that is going on the world over. Now, coming to what we have started, like I mentioned, about 1.5 years back, we started for the first time going ahead with startups. And under the IDEX, we launched what we called as IDEX Defense Challenge. We were little skeptical because of the advanced nature of the challenges, and not too much is known in the public domain how good our participation was. And I must say that we were overwhelmed by the kind of response that we have received. Today, in less than 1.5 years, there are nearly 800 or so startups which are actively working in the defense and aerospace sector. There are all these startups have actually taken up real life challenges which defense forces have. And the advantage of working with IDEX is that startups not only get to work on the real-time challenges, they also get to work in the real-time situations. So once you are selected under the IDEX challenge, the startup gets an opportunity to work with the concerned force, whether it is the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, in the context of where the actual situation arises, and therefore he can test his solution or work on the development environment, which is totally real time, and therefore the applicability is even more. So coming back, today when we started with the challenge, we have a system by which we on a given challenge we select multiple startups. So it is not necessary that we will select only one startup to work on a challenge. We actually identify, depending on the quality of responses, 3, 4, or 5 startups, and we provide milestones. And on these milestones, depending on progress, again, some startups may not go to the next stage. Now, let me also share with you what experience we had. Among the first challenge, which was done in August 2018, in less than 15 months, we have been able to identify at least 8 or 9 solutions who have been able to come up with technologies which would have normally taken 5 to 6 years. They have been able to develop in 12 to 18 months. The cost of development of these technologies is less than 1.5 crores of government grant and equal or slightly more contribution from the startups. Typically, these technologies, if they were to be done in a previously normal public sector, could have costed us 50 to 100 crores in the least for development. So what are we looking at? We are looking at working with startups, developing technologies at costs which are a fraction of the cost at which we were traditionally developing them. We are looking at developing technologies at much faster pace. Again, a fraction of the time is being used to develop these technologies. And most interestingly, while previously we were developing one technology at a time, we are today able to develop multiple technologies in one shot because there are multiple startups. Let me give you an example. We are working with a startup at IIT Delhi who's developing high resolution cameras, and the challenge was to develop a 100 megapixel camera. This is not today available in the country. No DRDO, no Bell, no other government company or private company is today making it. We are importing it from Israel. And the startup from IIT Delhi developed this 100 megapixel camera. Like I said, our cost to us was less than 1 crore or around 1 crore. Each camera unit that we import is typically about 8 to 10 crores. And the cost at which the domestic company will be able to sell will be 1/10 of the cost. Not only that, this has enabled them now to aspire for 1 gigapixel camera. Interestingly, except Israel and US, and Israel is still at testing stage, US apparently has a 1 gigapixel camera. No other country in the world has a 1 gigapixel camera, and that is a capability which the startup has been able to show. It is remarkable. The story is the kind of stories we are talking of unmanned vehicle. There is another startup which came up with an unmanned vessel which goes on the sea, on surface of water, and is able to go and do various tasks like rescue someone who's drowning, or retrieve some ammunition or some other kind of disease based on a remote control kind of a remote control which is available. So you could be sitting on a ship, you could send this vessel out and it could go and rescue someone and bring it back, or it could retrieve some goods. This task was done again by this startup in a short period of about 12 to 15 months. And they demonstrated this. We recently had an event in which the Honorable Prime Minister was there, and he demonstrated this unmanned vessel, sea vessel, in that event. There was another very interesting startup who's working with IIT Madras. This girl, she has developed a technology of converting the engine oil sludge in a ship, mixing it with seawater to convert it into potable water. Now, those who have worked in the shipping line, shipping industry would know that under the UNCLOS, under the UN treaty, it is not allowed that one engine oil cannot be thrown into the sea. So if a ship is out for a 30-day voyage, it keeps storing the oil sludge, which is after the used oil of the engine, and huge tank capacity is used up in the ship for carrying this oil sludge because it can't discharge it in the sea. Second is, we are in all our naval ships today, we are using imported filtration plants which convert seawater for drinking water, because otherwise the drinking water for the crew is not available. Here, this technology uses the engine oil sludge and the seawater and makes it into potable drinking water. And this is enough for a large ship, you can convert. This plant, again developed at like a cost of I don't remember, maybe 2 crores or something. They have developed the lab scale plant at IIT Madras, and now they are in process of developing the first prototype which can be put on a ship. These technologies have potential both from a strategic perspective. They have huge potential from defense perspective. But I think the larger point is, it is creating an ecosystem where our young minds, hundreds and thousands and millions of young minds, creative ideas and dynamic ways of looking at problems, much different from what traditionally has been there, and without the fear of failure, without the hangover that can we be better than what is available in the world. That kind of fear or handicap they do not suffer with. And that, I think, is a huge, it gives us huge encouragement and tremendous opportunity that this is where we can actually lead in the world. Let me conclude. I just want to say this. I think when we are looking at Atmanirbhar Bharat in defense, we have huge amount of hope for our startups. Today, the defense for the first time has opened up to the private sector, to the startup ecosystem. And defense is a huge, big opportunity. I will give you another story where Indian startups in defense and aerospace today are becoming cynosure for foreign companies who are actually wanting to acquire them, take technologies, leverage technologies, and use it for their own product. The Airbus whole supply chain management system is actually managed by a startup from Bangalore. Today, whether it is Boeing, whether it is Airbus, whether it is Lockheed, they all have funds which are actually supporting startup ecosystem in India. And I am sure they are doing no charity. That is the kind of value our startups are creating in this space. We have requests from US Air Force Lab, which is the leading lab in the world, to actually tie up with Indian startups here. And that's another story. I do not want to go. So the point I want to make is, with opening up of defense, with focus on Atmanirbhar Bharat, I think there is tremendous amount of opportunity for our startups in this space. The global arena it's a $3 billion industry. It is a 1 lakh crore industry in India every year. And so the opportunities are humongous. We see tremendous amount of interest. And I would like SIIC to encourage our startups at IIT Kanpur. It will give me tremendous amount of satisfaction and happiness to see IIT Kanpur startups also coming in the defense and aerospace sector. I am extremely glad once again. My heartfelt thanks to Dr. Nikhil Agarwal for having invited me here to have been to having been able to participate there. And once again, the best of wishes for this event and for all the startups who are associated with SIIC. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Uh,
Thank you. I just wanted to say one word. For the first time, while we continue to be a big importer, I just wanted to say that we have also started figuring in defense exporter today. For the first time this year, we have figured in defense exporters list.
You are live, sir. You can speak.
It's my proud privilege to be a part of Abhivyakti 2020 with IIT Kanpur. I am born and brought up in Kanpur, so Abhivyakti is very close to me. Whenever the alumni of IIT get together to celebrate Abhivyakti here in Kanpur, that gives not only gives a message to the people of Kanpur and all of the world, but being a Kanpurite, I feel pleasure to join you at this stage. I'm sorry I could not hear Shri Ajay Singh. He is Secretary of Defence and working very actively for the defence and the development of defence productions also. Fortunately, we had our Defence Expo 2020 in February this year. Honorable Raksha Mantri ji, Shri Rajnath Singh ji had hosted that event in Lucknow, and Shri Ajay Singh was the secretary at that time, and still he continues to be there on. So it's my proud privilege to be a part of this Abhivyakti as a guest. As you know that due to pandemic COVID-19, world has changed its thoughts from the lower level to the highest level also. I would just like to suggest and just like to commend most of the people when we are speaking and talking to each other regarding the new normal. People, they will have the confidence that we'll be back to the mainstream. Most of the people, when they think that हम पिछली तरीके से वापस नहीं आ सकते, I don't agree with that. The new normal can be better also, but we will have to work hard with IIT and with new innovations also. Most of the time, when UP was the last preferred area for the industries, and now after 3 years, we'll be completing 4 years in the next 3-4 months. Uttar Pradesh is the best preferred industrial area for all of the companies from the country and across the country also. We feel proud to say that we have received more than 45,000 crore rupees of investment during this COVID period only. The reforms regarding the policies, regarding the industrial policies, as and when required, looking after the situation for the industries and the COVID pandemic, we try to resolve them, and we have created a ecosystem with our portal, Nivesh Mitra portal. You can, anybody from the country and across the world, they can join our Nivesh Mitra portal for any of their queries and any of their problems regarding the industry. If you remember 2 months back, Honorable Prime Minister during his Mann Ki Baat had said that the toys can be manufactured in India which are being imported from China. My first preference was, due to the relationship with China and due to pandemic, how can we start production of the products which we have been importing from some other countries? I feel I want to say you that one of the big signed MOUs for 4.28 lakh crore rupees for industries in UP. And now at this stage, more than 43% of the MOUs, they have come into reality and they are working with us. Approximately 50,000, more than 50,000, they have started their commercial production, and rest we will be doing very soon. Because of this 9 months which we have wasted due to pandemic, they are in a position to start within the next 2 or 3 months. So Uttar Pradesh is for the industries, this is a new era of industrialization in Uttar Pradesh. Me personally, leading this department under the leadership of Honorable Chief Minister Shri Yogi Adityanath ji, I hold meetings with all the people, all the concerned industrialists, personally with all my senior officers who are related to industry department. We sit together, we call the industries. Previously, now we are doing this meeting on our webinar. Once again, I would like to say that I had much to say about this, and I want a detailed discussion with our IIT people. I think that one thing is more important at this time, because our academia, they are working very hard and very fast. New innovations are there. Industries also want to come up, and government is working at their own end. If we can join all these things, we can come together, government, academia, and the industries at one point, then we think that we can do much more better what we are doing now for the industrialization.
Absolutely a masterstroke. So thanks a lot to you, sir, and thanks a lot to Honorable Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath for making it happen. And one thing, if you are able to hear us, we would like to request a one-to-one meeting with our innovators, with our other people, whenever is possible, either during this year, this remaining year, maybe in the beginning of next year, to discuss with you how we can progress and what are the other things we can do. And one more request which I have is that we want to bring you in as a keynote speaker because we want our startups to learn the consistency. You are one of the most consistent minister in the government, 7 times MLA. How you have done it, sir? That is something amazing. It is absolutely fascinating to learn from you how to be consistent, winning event. Let me also thank Professor Amitabh Bandyopadhyay for devoting endless nights, endless days with us in making this event happen. Without his continuous support, without his continuous leadership, it is not possible for us to conceptualize this event. And he has been a great support and leader for all of us. Thanks a lot. And thanks to all the other people who have joined us for this inaugural session. I must certainly apologize again for the technological glitch, but that's the beauty of technology. Unless there is a glitch, there is no innovation. So we have to continuously innovate. Now, again, there is a challenge to all our startups across, and whoever is listening, that we thought that we have mastered online interaction. But now with this, and with IIT involved into it, and one of the best platforms involved into it, there is a guarantee that we have not mastered. So there is a still need for innovation. So let me see who will bring the next big idea for video conferencing flawlessly, which will work in each and every platform on a iPhone or an iPad or a tablet, or even we cannot become an Atmanirbhar Bharat with a half-baked cookie. So we have to fully bake the cookie and make it crisp. So thanks a lot joining for all, and please don't go away. It's a 3-day event, and as I have said in the beginning, if you attend the 3-day event, I guarantee that you can go to any professor and he will sign on your certificate that you got a PhD in innovation now. So thanks for bringing in today, and we will see you in the next session. Bye-bye for now.
Before we leave, it is my duty and responsibility to thank you, Nikhil. Just everybody witnessed how you can, turn a absolutely negative thing into positivity with the technological glitch. This is the innovation that we need in our ecosystem. So I see Professor Kantikar is now on the screen. Sir, we are ending the inaugural session.
So we are ending, no?
Yeah, we are ending the inaugural session.
Okay.
Aditi, you want to make some announcement for the next session?
Yes, yes. So our next session would be live in another 2 minutes, which is a tech talk on healthcare, being presented by Mr. Naveen Nagpal from BPL Technologies. And I would request Professor Karandikar if you could take 10 minutes anytime out today to visit the booths which are being put up by our startup. They would be, delighted to have you host on their booth. So. And I would make the same request to all the audience who are listening to us. Please do visit booth. And yeah, let's go to our next session, Tech Talk on healthcare.
Sure.
All right.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thanks.
Bye bye. Bye.